How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you
I'm
too?
very well. Hello, everyone.
Guys, she said hello now. Nobody's answering.
Hey,
People
hello,
are
hello,
muted in
hello,
case you
hi.
don't know.
Hi,
Sorry. Hi,
hi,
Victoria.
Hi.
hi, Mary.
Hello.
Hi, Victoria and Mary and Chika.
My baby.
Hi, everyone.
They said my internet
Chika,
is unstable. No, it's
you know.
Elijah. Please.
Yeah, I think
Hello.
I'm here.
Okay. So I was saying that just a recap. We'll give it another 5 to 10 minutes for every other person to join in. And then, oh, okay. What? So I'm not even looking at the number of people that join. Okay, and our facilitator is here. All right. Welcome, Christina. Hi, everyone. Okay.
Thank you.
So I've been waiting for you to join in so that I could do proper introductions and we'll just dive right in because I already mentioned to everybody that we are keen on time today. And so we'll not have the leisure of waiting for every other person to join. Um, okay, so far, for starters, I will first introduce myself, then introduce the facilitator. Welcome everyone that's just joining in. My name is Chika Nzekwe, and I am the convener of the review community. We're a community of recent graduates and young professionals who are looking to set ourselves apart in the world of work. How are we doing this? Through training sessions like this, accruing soft skills, relevant soft skills, and hard skills also that will help us stay relevant in the world of work, which for me is the anchor of our conversation today. And so today I'm presenting to everyone here our facilitator, Christina Shuname. Christina she is a career development enthusiast and a training consultant whose mission is to inspire young professionals to embrace the dignity of labor and commit to a culture of excellent stewardship in this personal and professional lives. She's the author of Dear Young Professional, a fictional storified book which looks at the real stories of real professionals in the workplace. She mentors hundreds of young professionals through the DYP network, which is the Dear Young Professional Network, which she founded in 2021. She's married to her best friend, Bimika Shuname, and together they mentor singles to make informed relationship choices and live wholesome lives. Christina and Bimika are co-authors of the Countdown Divisional for Soon to Wed. Everyone, please welcome Christina. We are privileged to have you here.
Hello, everybody.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's so good to be here. Thank you for the introduction. I think I want to confirm if everyone can hear me clearly, or I can switch my internet to make it better. What's the experience like?
So far, I can hear you. It's slightly static in between.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let me do that switch because I want it to be good. So let me just make a quick switch.
Okay.
Apologies. It'll be very quick.
Oh. Okay. Bring her back on. Welcome, Elsie. Guys, our
okay, great.
Okay, she's back.
I apologize. I just want to make sure we have a smooth one. So, is it better sound?
I think it is sound wise. We can't see you.
Okay.
Sound
okay. Can I share my screen?
Absolutely. Please go ahead.
Fabulous. Fabulous. I'm not sure why you can't see me yet, but I'm sure that'll be okay. I think it's off now. Great. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for your patience. Let's get right into it. Thank you for having me, the review community. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. Okay, so my slide is up now, just confirming that everyone can see that as we move forward.
We can't see the slide yet, but we're just waiting.
Yet. Okay, I'm sure it's coming up. It's up on my side already.
Okay.
Okay, it's loading. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yes, we can see it now.
All right, great. Great. So let me have a few view. Shortly. I think that there's a bit of lag, but yes. Thank you very much, Sonia, and thank you for the work that you do. A shout out to everyone here who supports you on the good work that you do. Thank you. So yes, my name is Christina. That's as simple as it gets. And I'm really excited to be here. This is something that I love to do. And it's something I've also been positioned to do. So a bit about why I share on career, and I very much align with the subject at hand, which is career relevance, is that when I look at how important our career is, especially as young professionals, and how our work life can define other areas of our life. I'll give you an example. If someone is having a very, very rough work experience, it would typically flow into their family life, where you can see that person struggling with, and I don't know if anybody has been there. Let me know in the chat box. You're just having a difficult time at work. At home, everybody's asking, is everything okay? Are you fine? You're struggling to be the usual self. And that's just the power of work. And it's not far-fetched. It's really because, think about it, a lot of your active hours, in life, in the day, is spent, yes, I see the feedback, thank you, is spent in the workplace, that waking hour, dashing down to work, and then the most of the active part of your day is at the office. So it means that if you're having a tough time with your boss, you can come home and your husband is affected, your children are affected. If you have something you've been trying to work on or sort out that is lagging behind, if you've been long overdue for a promotion and it's making you feel very unhappy, it will just slip into your life. If you feel like, that's another thing that young professionals face. You're straight out of school, all your friends have gotten a job, you're still job hunting. It's not long before those friendships start to be strained. I don't know if anyone has been there, where it's almost like there's a lot going on. Like you're feeling like, okay, they've gone ahead of me. So generally, our work life is actually very, very important, and it's just so necessary to try to not shy away from having these sort of conversations, so that we can achieve a level of fulfillment with our work life that can then flow into other areas of our life. All right. So in my journey, I have seen, growth. I have seen a lot of career growth, and everything I'll be sharing today is just drawing from what I've learned on my journey, and also what I've learned from others, mentor figures, and other senior professionals, which, I'm practicing or look towards practicing myself. All of the things here, trust me, I've done them. And it's how, I've gotten here. I mean, currently, my journey has been, I've transitioned from being a finance professional, chartered accountant, into being a learning and development professional, which is what I always wanted to do. Right now, I sit as vice president of learning and development for a tech firm. And it's just been a journey of growth, a lot of growth. I mean, just imagine that growth trajectory. I studied economics in university, by the way. So yeah, seeking a lot of growing across board, growing into leadership, growing in terms of, knowledge and competence and capacity, in my career. So it's all off the strength of that I'll be sharing today. I would make an effort. My target is to take a lot of questions. So I'm going to go through what I have to share today as quickly as possible. All right. So I'm trying to get my slides. I want to show you something and get your feedback about it. I know that there's a bit of a lag. Let me just see if I can get that up for you. Okay. That should come up shortly. I want to show you something and get your input about 2 slides. We're going to have to respond in the chat box, so please don't be far from the chat box. Okay, I think I'll stop sharing and share again. Okay, let's do this again. Okay. I know that will be up shortly. Let me get back and see if you can see me yet. Okay, can anyone see my slides? Yes, you can let me know in the chat box, please. After these 2 slides, I can run without my slides so that I keep us back. But I really want to show us something. Yes, can anyone see?
Yes, I can see your slides.
Yes, I can see your slide.
Thank you very much. All right, so I'm asking a question in my slide. I'm asking, which of these items do you remember? And I'd like for us to take a look and let me know, can you remember any item on the screen right now? Please look at those items. Those. All right. Armide says everything. Okay, I remember all. I apologize.
I remember all.
Victoria, did you say you can remember all?
Yes.
Cabin biscuits and PD, yeah. I remember all the cabin. Or maybe you didn't have cabin biscuits as part of your provisions in secondary school. I don't know. I remember that chewing gum, right? That tough chewing gum, right? So remember all. Now, please keep a mental picture of the products you've seen on this slide. I want to show you another slide, and I'm going to ask you a question. Yeah, great, amazing. All right, so I've changed slides. Great, it's moving faster now. I've changed slides. I have another slide. Who remembers these products in these states? Look at what we have on the screen now. It's changed. Bonvita, Blue Band. Anyone used? You don't know these ones, say that. There was a time when Omo was blue in color. Who remembers? The powder. Yes, blue powder. And someone else says none. Okay, now I see some people remember. Okay, so generational gap happening. That's okay. Now, for those who remember the products in the first slide and this second one, I have a question. Yeah, remember the Omo and Blue Band. Absolutely great. What's something that is different about the products in the first slide and the ones in the second slide? And let me give you a hint to the answer I'm looking for. I'm asking what's one major difference between the products on the first slide, the chewing gum and all that, and the products on this slide? And the hint is relevance, which is a keyword on the table today. The hint is relevance. Anyone wants to share? I'm happy to hear you. Okay, I see Zainab. Okay, someone is speaking. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I think that for this.
Please say that again.
The second slide, as this one we're looking at.
Yes.
All the products, they still exist. They've evolved, still existent.
Great.
But for the first slide, all the products are out of market.
Nice one, Emily. Nice one. And that's exactly what Zainab said as well. But she made an important point. They still exist, but they have rebranded. They have their, I mean, look at this blue band versus today's one. Look at Bonvita, look at Omo. Now that speaks volumes when we talk about relevance. Now, can somebody ask to draw a learning? What does it take to maintain relevance? One short point that already stands out is the need to keep rebranding yourself. Somebody is now asking at this point of the presentation, but Christina, I'm not a product like Omo. I'm not Blue Band. I'm not on the shelf. I'm not an on the shelf product. Let me help you answer that question. All right. This is how I'll answer you. You as Zainab, you are not a product. We're not selling Zainab. Zainab is not on the shelf. But your skill set is a product. Everybody's skill set is a product. And I'll explain that to you. Now, let me quickly confirm. Can a few people here in the room tell me what they do or what they're trained to do? Like, for example, I have said I'm a learning and development professional. My husband is an accountant. So can I get some responses in the chat box? Tell me what you do or what you've been trained, to do. You're looking forward to practice for those who are not working yet. Let me see. I'm looking out for responses. All right. Yes. Hi, TJ. I see you. Teju Mojesu is a mindset coach. I like that. That is a skill set. Any more responses? Who else is out there? What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? Let's say we can gather an accountant. Additionalize is an accountant. Okay, I see more responses. Zainab is a UX writer and product designer. Training for these, amazing. And a B2C manager, great. Zainab, UX writing is a skill set. It's a product. When you are engaged by an employer, they are paying you not because you're Zainab, they are paying you to use that skill set of UX writing to move their business forward. It's like the way that I will go to the store to purchase an item that I need for my living. Is the way that the employer comes to the labor market to purchase a skill set that a Zainab carries. It could be another person. When the employer comes to the job market, they're not looking for Zainab. They're looking for a UX writer. And then they find Zainab. That UX writing is a skill set and it's a product. That is a product on the table we're talking about now. And your employer is your customer. Now, this perspective about your career is a game changer. And it's an important one because when we see products, it's easy to say, this one, you not package it well. See how ugly the packaging looks. Is it possible that your skill set, the product that you are selling in the job market, is also suffering from poor packaging? What does packaging look like when it comes to your career? It looks like your LinkedIn profile. Part of it. It looks like your CV. The things that we see before we get to experience you. It's easy to look at a product and say, this one is not even relevant. There is a better product. I found a better, a better shampoo that works better. I hope that that's not the future of your skill sets, where your employer is like, we found a better skill set that can fit this role. So we don't need this person anymore. Are we following? Is it making sense at this point? Let me pause and ask. Is it making sense that your skill set is the product and your employer is the customer? And everything I'm going to share today is going to be built on the foundation of this. So I need you to get it. Yes, thank you, Aramide, for the feedback. Thank you. Yes, it is. I'm glad that it's making sense. So let me move quickly. This is an important part of our conversation, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to your career, think of yourself as a CEO. If there is a product, then there is a CEO, and that is you. So you carry the skill set. You are the CEO of your skill set. You are the chief executing officer. Chief executive officer. And you are sitting as CEO over your skill sets. So it's just the way that there's a company managed, there's Omo, there's a CEO in charge of that brand, Omo, and everything.
You, Zainab, you are the CEO to your UX writing process that you sell in the labor market, which employers, your customers pay for. What you are paid a salary for is the product, which is your service, your skill set. That product that you bring to the table every day as you show up at the office. So you need to be thinking of yourself and your career from that angle. And this brings me to an important question, because this is the definer of everything. Are you even doing a job, or are you building a career? Because we need to differentiate. We mentioned career growth. We said this topic is relevance and career growth. Are you doing a job, or are you building a career? Because they are two different things. The one who is doing a job will approach this entire conversation differently. The one who is building a career will approach the conversation differently. What's the difference? I'll tell you the key difference. This is something I spoke about extensively in my book, Job or Career. And one of the first things I got to understand before I started my career journey that really helped me. See, you will do jobs to build a career. All right? But you can do jobs and not build a career. I'll break that down. When you think about a career, look at the word that is used. You never hear I'm building a job. You hear I'm building a career. Because a career is like someone who is trying to build, think about a building, a physical structure, right? And from the beginning, if you think about it, when you want to build a structure, I don't know if there are any builders in the house, things like architectural design come to mind at the earlier stage, where you're trying to give a visual to what this building is going to be like. Then we get to all the parts where we're actually building their foundation. There's the lintel level, you're going up. Depending on how far you want to go, will influence how deep the foundation is. It's the same thing with your career. If I asked us, if I had time, I'll go around the room and I'll ask, what kind of career would you like to build? And oftentimes the fastest way to answer that is that you've seen somebody that looks like who you want to be with your career. And I'm thinking that, okay, this is how I want my career to be. You have a face that, mind you, will not have the picture because you're at the starting point, which is why even with buildings, if you look at the drawing versus the final building, you are very likely to see adjustments that have been made. Because the drawing is just to give us an idea of where we are going. It doesn't box us. As we implement, we may see a need to make adjustments, and we make those adjustments and we have our edifice. It's the same thing. That's why I always ask people at the start of your career, you're straight out of school, what do you want? What do you really want to build? It's possible you study something different, but the kind of career you admire is very different. And if you want that, it's okay, you can have it. Now, from the mental picture of what you want, you now start to take on certain jobs that can help you go in that direction. So some people are just taking jobs based on what's available. I just stumbled on this side. There's more money, a promise of more money. But I have been checked to see that, by taking this job, it's going to help me in my journey to building this type of career. So when you're building a career, you're not just thinking about increased salary, which is a good thing. I'm not here to, talk down on money. Money is important, is very, very important. But you know that, for example, at the start of your career, at the earlier years, that's your foundation. If you have two job options, and one job option presented an opportunity for you to learn more, get trained, work with experienced people. And then another one is, that's job A, but job B doesn't have all that, not as much lesser, or not at all, more training opportunities, maybe, not a lot of learning exposure, but it's more money. At your foundation level, you should be picking job A. Because at that entry level, what is most critical is not money as much as skill. You're coming straight out of school. The workplace is not about Pythagoras theorem or dy dx. It's time to actually learn what happens here. And you are better off taking a role that exposes you to a lot of learning at your foundation. You can have a solid foundation for the career you want to build. I'll make a practical example. I remember that when I was going to start work, I started off my career majorly in one of the big four accounting firms. All right, at that time, working in the direction of accounting. And in that season, I had colleagues that had, and my, a lot of people had options. They had maybe a bank offer, some other offers, and you see bigger figures there. But one advice I know that someone shared with me, which turned out to be very true because I've seen it play out, is that you're better off starting in this type of organization where it looks like, oh, the bank or another organization is offering me more money. But in a big four, there's a lot to learn. It's a fast-paced learning environment. I don't know if there's any big fours in here that can confirm this, or someone who knows someone who is in the big four. You are learning on your feet. You're working with different cadres of consultants, different engagements every day. Thank you, Adisha. I see your feedback. Different types of engagements, different industries. You are put on your toes, literally. So what now happens practically in the workplace now is that I have people who are my colleagues who turned down banking offers at the start of our journey. But by year 3, by year 4, the kind of offers they were now getting from banks, the people who entered the banks when they entered the Big Four will now be their juniors. So at that level, we know you are coming with more experience. So there's more value put on you. So what you missed by starting out in the Big Four, you didn't really miss anything, because 3 years after, when we're now giving you an offer, we're offering you something that puts you ahead of those that joined in the banking system when you went to the Big Four, because we are conscious that you are cooked. Why did I make that example? Not to slight anybody or any kind of job offer. That's not the goal. I hope you're following me. The goal is to help you see how at that entry level, without proper counsel, someone just sees letter or offer letter, this one has bigger money, and they go for it. But at that entry level of your career, what is the most critical is to be asking questions like, how often, what's the training policy like? What is the growth trajectory? What's important to be looking at the profile of people that you'll be working with? Excuse me, to say, hey, are they experienced? What are they known for? Because there are names you work with in the industry. I still had an invitation where I spoke somewhere on Friday evening with one of the major banks in Nigeria. I was invited to speak. And one of the things that made them pick me to come do that is because I worked with a certain person as like his number 2. And everybody knows that, no, for her to work with this person for a certain period of time, this person definitely has a lot of value to offer. Let's have that. Those are the defining things you need to be considering when you are building a career, not just doing a job to earn money. And it's so important because remember, you're going somewhere, you're building layer upon layer, layer upon layer. So how solid your foundation is affects how the building will eventually. How your ability to build a solid foundation affects the next level, helping you get to lintel, and then the next level, and then the next level. So I hope that I've been able to help you see the importance. So when you're thinking from a career perspective, you're really a CEO, because from all we described, you have to be strategic. For example, you have to be strategic. You can't just be thinking about what's happening under your nose, what's happening right now in the company that you are. You're thinking career, so you're thinking about 5 years from now. This is my skill set. This is my product. How do I ensure it's still relevant? How do I ensure it doesn't become a taco biscuit that loses relevance? All right, you have to wear that CEO cap over your skill set. Is it making sense so far? As I take us through a few tips and I get ready to take questions. I really want to take questions today, but let me know in the chat box. Is it making sense so far? Are you getting anything? I just tried to build a foundation. Okay, Zainab says a lot of sense. I'm glad. Okay, thank you, everyone. Let's move together. Let's move forward together. There's more to learn. Okay, now I'll briefly run you through. So we're talking relevance and career growth. And I believe you're already seeing the connection. You're already seeing the connection. All right. You would have to pay attention to career growth if you want to stay relevant. We saw those other products. Somewhere along the line, some growth was not happening, whether with the companies that manage those products or with the products themselves, that made them go. Like, imagine what Paco Biscuit could be now. Like, if it was back in the market, rebranded and everything, people will still buy it. For those who had Paco Biscuit and you know how it felt. Like, I mean, it may not be, digestive hobnobs or all those other fancy. But there's just something was just like our own original. And that's scary, but we liked it. We liked it. But for lack of growth, something may be good, but for failure to grow, advance, move, it loses relevance. It's not like it was bad, but growth is so important. So what are some hindrances to growth that you need to avoid, especially hindrances to career growth in this context? Number one, thinking and operating only as an employee. You're someone who, remember, I came from somewhere and I've already kind of like emphasized this point. You can't just be thinking as an employee. How does an average employee think? They've given me job description and giving me chair and table in the office. In the morning, I wake up, dress up, do my best to show up on time, get there, do the work they say I should do, leave, close, go to work, continue the cycle the next day. And it's just about the norm. It becomes monotonous. That's an average employee mindset. How you should be thinking and operating. There's a question I always ask anytime I'm on a job interview panel. It's one of the last questions I always ask. And it is this: how does this role help you achieve your personal goals? I always ask that question. And why is that question important? Because there has to be more than just the money you'll be paid or the idea of showing up at an office every day that drives you. There has to be connection between helping the company achieve its corporate goal and you achieving your personal goal. Let me bring it home with an example, because you know why this is important. You need a greater motivation than money to be your best. You can't be the average employee. You can't just be thinking and operating like average employee. I was saying to someone that, see, if you don't know how your role in an organization contributes to any revenue or saving cost, you are an average employee. Whatever it is you do, it is supposed to be connected some way to any revenue or saving cost. So if you don't know how, you're not connected. That's an employee. That's how we see a CEO is. You remember we said something, you're the CEO of your product, this skill set that you carry. So in a sense, you're conscious. How does my UX writing keep this company in business? When you understand that dynamic, you deliver as a UX writer with more value. Because even though nobody's putting pressure on your neck to help us get revenue, you know that the cocoa of all this I'm doing here, the end of it, that company should earn more. So in your writing, in whatever you're doing, you are conscious of that value creation towards revenue, towards saving costs. And at the end of the day, that's what every company is set up for. So you'll be connecting directly with the vision, aside from the other corporate goals that are well spelled out. You're an accountant. With your work, by being diligent at your work, you're helping us because if we make certain errors, we will pay fines to the tax officials. If we don't compute some numbers correctly, it can affect our reporting and make us pay a fine. Like that level of thinking, rise above your day-to-day and begin to engage what you do mentally with the overall goal of the organization. Don't be an employee only. Why is this important? When you're thinking at that level, all right, it spurs growth. Let me explain. When you're thinking at that level and you know that, okay, fine, I'm thinking in this way, I know that, I'm conscious that as an accountant, this is the value I bring to the table overall. It means that when there's an opportunity for you to grow your skill so that you can add more value to the company, you recognize it. For example, you realize that if I just add, maybe Power BI, or if I just advance my Excel sheets a bit, I will be able to produce this quality of reports for decision making during management meetings every quarter. So you go ahead and take that course. But if you were just a number, the chair said, this is the Excel sheet, we should fill it, issue receipts, raise vouchers. You won't be growing because of time. Let me move, but I hope you get the first point. All right, the next one, relying on your employer for PDA. This one, I can stay on it. And by the way, PDA in this context is not public display of affection. PDA in this context is what I call personal development and advancement. Very important. See, a hindrance to career growth is to just say the only training you do is the one that your employer makes available, because this world is too fast-paced for that. Too fast-paced for that. So you have to take the front seat when it comes to your personal development. I always talk about having a personal development plan. Do you have a personal development plan? And this is what I mean by that. As a CEO sitting over your skill set, which is the product that you are selling in the labor market, you should be looking intentionally at how you can keep growing your skill set. And that leads you to having a personal development plan yearly, for example, or every six months. Sitting down to say, okay, in this my field of learning and development, what are the trends I'm seeing globally? What are the upcoming areas in learning and development that I need to learn about myself so that I can grow in relevance? I'll give you a typical example. A few years ago, things like operating a learning management system was not a requirement for an L&D person. But today, it's almost on every job, description for L&D. If it's not there, it's coming. Why? Because there's a lot more happening in the online learning space, and you need a learning management system to run that. If somebody were still just sitting on their usual skill set from 5 years ago as an L&D person, and now they're trying to apply for jobs, there will be a misfit in companies that are already requiring a skill in LMS. But guess what? This LMS skill, if somebody, anyone in L&D, like myself, from like latest 2020 COVID-19 era, it became obvious that it was a skill that you have to have, because online learning went up. So you couldn't just be the person that the only way you know how to do it is show up in a physical class. You had to be the person that had trained to be able to make learning happen online, inclusive of all the tools to drive engagement, measure impact, and all of that. So that's what I mean by having a development plan. So at that point, when you see trends, when you see that accounting, maybe for example, data analytics is becoming such a critical aspect of accounting, or Power BI, all these other, software that help with analyzing figures. There's a lot of conversations happening around there. At this point in your life, you should be saying, okay, based on this, so I need to have a plan to learn X this year or Y, then get to work at it. Why is having a development plan also important? These days, there's a lot of free things to learn online. But I always say to people, don't join something because it's free. Not only because it's free, except of course you have free time. Aside from joining things because they are free, join sessions because they meet a need in your life at that time. Whether it's learning for your personal life or it's learning for your career. So for you now, all right, how do you develop a personal development plan? Look into your feedback you've been getting in the office. The last feedback appraisal system, exercise that went on, you got some feedback. You were told that there's some areas for improvement. Those areas should feature in your development plan for this year. They told you that you're writing, you need to improve on your communication skills, blah, blah, blah. That means you should be staying on communication for a period of 3 months, 4 months, until you see the improvements. You are not a learner because you join sessions and just join sessions. You are a continuous learner because we keep seeing improvements. The end or the goal of learning is not to come to the session and go back and say, this weekend, I was in 3 sessions. 3. How many did you join? You were faffing, you were watching Netflix. You may not be better than someone who was watching Netflix if you can't see the outputs of your learning in your life or your work. I hope I'm not shaking tables. But it's true. The goal of learning is to be able to see improvement. And that's why you must have a plan. You can't just be jumping in and out. Have a plan. Say, I'm based on last year end feedback. I've been told I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. So I've broken the table, I apologize. I'll arrange it back before I leave. or you've been told that, hey, there's this, there's that, or you've even looked at a trend in your industry, there's this particular skill, that is coming. It should feature in your plan, and then work with a plan when you're learning. Don't be everywhere, please. There's no gain there. Have a development plan and follow it. You can add a few things, join a few sessions if you have some free time. I mean, knowledge is great, but make sure that you're following a plan so that at least you can look back and say, okay, yesterday, last year, my focus was on my communication skill, my this, my that. I took these courses, I tried this out, and somebody can actually look at it and say, you've improved with your writing. Now you have learned. All right, let me move quickly. I want to wrap up. Another hindrance to career growth is limiting yourself to the local job market. I see the chat box. Hi, sis. Hi, prof. I see my people in the building. Limiting yourself to local job markets is a hindrance to career growth. At this stage, then, whatever you do, you're an accountant. Sometimes go on LinkedIn and look at the profile of accountants in the US. What courses are they taking? What jobs are they doing? The world is a global market. I'm sure it's not news to you that people are living in Nigeria and working for companies in the US. The thing about skill is that skill is universal. If you're really good, then you should not be a local champion. What is a local champion? Oh, you're a great UX writer in Nigeria, or you're a great accountant in Nigeria. But if we put you side by side, somebody at your level in another country, we see you look like you are just that. So you must be thinking about the global job market. Be checking out roles. As in, when you should be open to looking at hiring opportunities by other countries, by companies, by multinationals in other countries for your role. Go and see what they are requiring and use it to measure your growth. Because if you're just playing local, it affects, you can think, I've arrived, I've already done this, that. Whereas we bring you to the international markets, we're just looking at you like, okay, and you say you're mid-level, right? So you should be thinking about yourself, be positioning in the global markets. I want to be the kind of L&D expert that can be hired by a company in Russia, in Belarus, in the UAE. So when I'm growing my career, I'm not just growing myself for Nigeria. I'm taking international certifications because I want to be internationally relevant. You're conscious about the schools you take courses from. You're not only doing local, programs, which are not bad, but, for the sake of international space, you're also looking out for international certifications. But who knows which country you'll be tomorrow? Who knows what job offer you get tomorrow? Or who knows what, call for application would appeal to you? And hey, why not? If you have the skill, show your CV. You're not the first. We have a lot of people in Nigeria, a number of people in Nigeria right now who do jobs for countries, outside Nigeria and earn in dollars. Oh, what joy! If you earn in dollars in this economy, what joy! Ask people who earn in dollars, they're not crying the same cry you're crying. But all right, but you're working and earning in pounds, you're earning in euros, but you live in Nigeria, brethren. You must be willing to make adjustments in the direction of global relevance. Don't think local, all right? Don't think local about your career. Think global. Remember, your skill set is a product. If your product, you have a good product, one of the ways to test the quality of the product is to export it. If it can compete with other products on the shelf in other countries, you have a good product. So it's the same thing with your skill set. We talked about how your skill set is a product already. All right, so let me wrap up. Already I'm wrapping up. I think that was my final point because of time. Do not be so caught up in your early day that you lose sight of what it takes to be relevant tomorrow. This is an important point. Some people right now, you are the champion in your office. Everybody's clapping for you. The organization cannot do without you. You feel like you are indispensable. But you see the way COVID-19 came and shook all of us. In that year, 2020, some people, before the pandemic, their team was the strongest team in the organization, bringing in the highest revenue. Pandemic happened, shook everywhere, shook everything. It came back. The conversation was, we're sorry, we need to let you go. Your unit is no longer relevant. And there are things, there were trends, there were pointers. There are peculiarities, of course, to the pandemic. And this is not to cast stones. I mean, it's definitely a tough situation for people who found themselves there. But what I'm saying is that don't be like, oh, because today everybody's clapping for me. I mean, I've been there. I mean, I know what it feels like. You know, you're winning awards on your current role. You're just comfortable. You are not preparing for tomorrow. Because the things that are making you great today may not be sufficient for tomorrow. And so please, let's start saying our questions. I'm about to say thank you. So please, let's start dropping our questions so that I can take them. All right. The final point, I can't spend time here. It's a hindrance career growth. Please don't quit your job based on feelings only. You're having a tough week. One boss said something that broke your heart. You just say, I can't do this. You quit. So people have denied themselves growth because of spontaneous reactions like that. Are feelings valid? Yes. They are a great indicator, all right, of maybe the adjustments I need to make. If you're feeling a certain way that is not good about your job, it's a call to reflection and a call to adjustments in terms of, okay, what can I do differently? Who should I be having a conversation with? It's not a call to, feelings are not good drivers. If your feeling is the primary reason why you made a decision, you're likely to regret that decision when that feeling wears off. So it's a hindrance. Some people have walked out of jobs that they had no business working out of. Instead, they were the ones who needed to grow, who needed to adjust, who needed to stretch. So please don't quit your job based on feelings. It only. All right. I can't spend time here. Time is up. Please, I'm looking out for your questions.
Sorry.
Hi, Christina. Thank you so much
Hi.
for this.
You're welcome,
Zainab.
Zainab.
Yeah,
Question, Zainab.
Not really, but I need you to please go to the first slide. I want to make a
Okay.
screenshot of that. The first one of the stuff we don't remember now.
Sorry, Zainab, take that again.
Your first slide, I need to go back. I want to take a screenshot of it.
Oh, my first slide.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go back there shortly. Give me a moment. I'll go back there.
Okay.
All
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Question from Fash Creatives.
I have my eyes there. Thank you. So I'll take your question now. So final thing I'll say is, please, career growth, connections and mentorship, very important. Don't trivialize them. They're important on your journey to career growth. Very, very important. My final call to action is commit to growth. The workplace is evolving. Are you evolving? This has been fast. I haven't said a lot as I wish to, but I have a book, and then there's a lot you can learn from this material. It speaks extensively to some topics covered and even more. All right, so thank you. Let me go back up for the slide. Zainab wants. Zainab, is this a slide? Let me know. Hey, Zainab has the book.
This one. Thank you.
Okay, great. I have the slide for you. So let me answer the question. And please, any other question can come. I'll quickly take those questions. Please summarize the entire talk. Or give a recap. Marcel, I don't really know where to start from. maybe I'll allow Sonia to do the recap, because when you tell the speaker to do the recap, you're calling me to take it over again. Let me take questions and I'll see if I can do a recap before we finish. First question is, how do you deal with team colleagues who are not passionate about their job, career at work, and affecting your own productivity? I always say that it's important to put yourself in an empowering community when it comes to your work. If those people are not your immediate, well, I will not assume that everybody, all your colleagues are that way. Because Bible says iron sharpens iron. It's very, very important to roll with people on the same energy level. Okay, in the workplace. There are different types of people in the workplace. There are those who just complain and complain and complain. Please don't be stuck in those circles, because a complaining doesn't change anything. It just makes you feel worse. Be amongst those who are make it happen people. And if there are inconveniences in the workplace, we're not saying don't talk about it. Like, you can have people you bounce those things off and get advice from. But by all means, ensure that you put yourself in empowering communities. So I want to believe that while there are some colleagues who are not passionate, there will be some who are passionate. And honestly, there are times in my career where people I've been closest to are not really my peers or my superiors, because I've found the kind of energy I need in people who are superior. And I'm happy to roll with them. I'm happy to roll with them because that you need the energy. And then beyond your immediate workplace, put yourself in an empowering, work community. I mean, personally, this is a community like that, where you're being taught, being reminded about the intentionality that should go into your career. I also run a community, DYP, and the whole idea is just have that empowering place where you see like-minded people who are forward-thinking. But please don't settle for anything less, because you need that kind of energy. Energy is important. It defines how you show up. If you're every time you close from work, you're with people who dampen your energy, the way you show up the next day is affected by the conversations you had the previous day. All right. And that's also important, because there are opportunities. Like I said, move with people who have good vibes, because even in the places that are uncomfortable, I'd rather be with people who are talking about, okay, where next can we apply to? What's going on in this other organization, or what are the opportunities in this other industry, so that I'm moving forward, not just sitting on, inconveniences. Let me see other questions. I hope that helps fast creatives. I'm really hopeful that there are other people within your organization who have good vibes, all right, who can help productivity and beyond your organization. Also, even having those type of friends in your life, people who remind you that, my guy, we're doing this. They encourage you. You have a tough day, you can talk to them about it. They can encourage you, pick yourself up, and be productive the next day. Please have those type of friends as well. Another question I see here is, okay, where do we draw the line between contentment with a role and the quest for more? Very, very good question. Very, very good question. See, the basics when it comes to, the truth is, I always say to people that as much as we want to grow in our career and all that, please plan for the future but live in the present. And what does that mean? Some people are too busy worrying about their future, their quest for more. They are living in the future. As much as you want to grow, as much as you're looking out for better opportunities, you must be comfortable with the progress you are making. And if it's not your best case scenario, just go for more. But gratitude, one key to contentment is gratitude. It's something I practice personally. Whatever I find myself, working through in any season of my career, my choice is to be grateful. And, gratitude triggers contentment. A posture of gratitude where you're like, you know what, this may not be my best place right now, but I'm grateful that, I'm grateful for that. I think literally intentionally shop for things to be grateful for at your current stage, because there are always things to be grateful for. That usually, so you should reach for more, desire more, aim for more. But I would suggest that gratitude is a practice you emphasize in your life, so that you can experience contentment even as you grow. Okay. I hope that helps. Aramide, that's the final question. How do you deal with subtle office politics as an upfront person? Try to switch roles to enhance your growth, but it's not happening as it should, I guess. So how do you deal with subtle office politics as an upfront person? Aramide, the interesting thing about office politics is that it's everywhere, just at different degrees. It's everywhere. I've worked in a number of organizations myself. Started working in 2010 as an undergraduate. From then till now, I've worked in about, and I realized that this office politics thing is everywhere. But when you say you're like an upfront person, in other words, you want to just challenge it or you insist on your way. What I always say is, politics is not a bad thing. Politicking is not a bad thing. It's how it's done that can determine, okay, is it good, is it bad, and all that. But what you need to know is, first of all, understand what works in every system. If what is required of you, all right, in terms of promotion, is not anything that that touches on your value system, that makes you compromise on your value system, then you should be looking at how to make it work. Let me give you a typical flat example of this thing. I know of a scenario where someone's promotion was just because this person had a kind of personality type that she kept challenging her boss at meetings openly in the name of that's my kind of person. So your boss is sharing that I don't agree. I don't agree, sir. You put sir there, but this is someone that doesn't like to be challenged openly. So for the longest time, it's like there was this friction between herself and her boss. It just kept lingering. All right. And when she, explained, oh, I'm not going to go to everything, and if I had the time, this is a question to unpack. What has been going on, what are the criteria and everything. You realize that sometimes what is the hindrance to people's promotions are not even based on the skill set itself. Or you may be thinking that, well, my skill set should be enough, I'll prove myself. But the honest truth is that if your boss is not happy with you and it's for trivial matters, small issues like this, they can actually get in the way of promotion. Okay, so in that case, my advice to this person was, hey, I understand that this is your personality type and everything, but your boss cannot be unhappy with you and speak well of you in the places that matter. This thing is not if you go and have this kind of conversations with him aside, instead of challenging him in public like that, does it tamper on your value system? No. Does it make any less of the person? No. But you still achieve your goal. You just take a different approach with this person. And that was what she had to try. So I get that example to say that when it comes to office politics, I'm saying we just, politics is painted as a bad word in this part of the world. It's a bad word because it's not done well, but it's not in itself a problem. It's just that there are nuances to every work environment. There is a work side, there's a technical side of things, and there's a soft skill side, there's the unspoken side, there's the unwritten laws. And if you're found wanting in those areas, if they don't touch on your values, they don't make you compromise your values, please align. But if you find them to be compromising to your value system, then you have to look out for another environment that matches your value system some more. So I wish we had the time to unpack that question some more, but I had to, that's the way I know to, respond to it without, making any assumptions. Maybe I had to make some, but if you wish you want to talk about this some more, I'm glad to respond to you in a DM private conversation to walk through it if that will be of any help. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my time is up. I hope it's been valuable. I'm sorry I was a bit fast at some point, but thank you for playing through and engaging.
Thank you so much, Christina. I don't even know. I don't have the words to thank you. Thank you so much. We as a community, will be getting your book as we get enough of this session. I even feel like 1 hour isn't even enough, but we understand. I just really appreciate you for taking our time to speak with us, all members of our community, both new and returning members. Thank you so much. Thank you. Guys, turn on your mic and thank her now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for having me. Let's connect, social media and all. I look forward to having more conversations and all. Thank you so much to the team. Thank you, Sonia, for the great work that you do. God bless you so much. I'll be running off at this point, so you have some final words for the people.
Okay. All right. Please, if you do have some final words, we're more than glad to hear you. With regards to the book, I will give you all the information you need.
Okay, great. Yeah, so everyone, just thanks. I wish all of us the best.
I can also organize for us to get it and get it across to everybody.
Okay, that's great. So I guess I'll just liaise with you with that. Happy to give a discount to this house, on the book. Very happy to. So like everyone who wants one can just get through. I think Zainab has experienced the book, and maybe she can tell you guys why the book can be of value to you. But it's definitely a very, very valuable resource. I'm grateful to have produced that because it has helped a lot of career professionals, and that's really the goal at the end of the day. So everyone, I'm wishing you all the best. Plenty love from this side. Well done. And please, if you're out there, you're still applying for jobs and all that, please don't give up. There are many opportunities out there, right? Keep your head up, and I trust that it will come through for you very soon. All right. Thank you, people. Bye.
Bye, Christina.
Bye.
Thank you so much for staying all through. Thank you, new members, existing members. I hope